So 2025 is the year that you have decided it's time to kick your shopping addiction for good. Here are 6 ways you're gonna make it happen. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Renee. I'm a recovering shopaholic, and my goal is always to help you design a life that is bigger than stuff. If you ended 2024 feeling financially stressed with more debt than ever,
wallet full of debt,
and yet Christmas was still a time where you just couldn't seem to stop yourself, you're not alone. I started hearing from so many people who have been past clients of mine or who have followed me on social media for a long time, telling me that they just went overboard and they couldn't seem to stop themselves. Christmas can have that effect on people, especially people who struggle with shopping addiction. So if you are coming into 2025 more determined than ever to not keep repeating that same shopaholic cycle, I'm here to help you. And we're gonna walk through 6 different things that I recommend to help you kick your shopping addiction in 2025. Number 1, the absolute first thing that you have to do is set an intention for a life that is bigger than stuff. A lot of times, what shopaholics tend to do is focus their joy on the next thing that they can get, buy, bring home, touch. When in reality, time and time again, studies have shown that the things that really make us happy are not things that we can touch. It's experiences, it's time with loved ones. Those are the kinds of things that will continue to bring us joy over and over again. Because the thing with shopping is we are happy the minute we buy it, and then it isn't long before we need to get that hit again.
When I feel down about something, I shop.
Which means that thing that we bought didn't keep us happy in the long term. When they have done studies on people who chronically overspend, they have found a similarity between the majority of people, and that is this really big gap. Basically, people who struggle with shopping addiction have this big gap between the person that they think that they are and the person that they want to be. And nothing brings out this gap more than a new year. Maybe your goal for the new year is to lose weight or be better with money, get the job promotion, but the way you currently view yourself, there's a good chance that you don't actually believe you're going to be able to make this happen. So what do? We try to fill the gap with stuff. What most people don't want to admit to themselves is that their shopping addiction is holding them back from some version of a bigger life. So instead of just trying to fill this gap with stuff, what I want you to do starting this new year is to start an intention for the person that you truly want to be. Number 2, unfollow temptation. God bless influencers. We all know they are just showing up, doing their best to make money on their own terms, doing stuff that feels fun for them. But for people who struggle with the shopping addiction, it can be really difficult to constantly see someone walking around in new outfits, putting new things in their house, or unboxing all of these shopping hauls over and over and over again. Did you know that studies have shown people who struggle with smoking addiction actually want cigarettes when they see a cigarette box? Now, that might not sound surprising, but what really is the fact that even if they see the warning label on the side of the cigarette box, and in some countries, this warning label comes with a photo of like a rotting lung or a dying heart, even seeing those gross visuals makes people want to have a cigarette.
how about a cigarette?
This is so important to be mindful of when it comes to addiction. There are sights, sounds, there are smells that are going to trigger you to want to spend. And the more that you can avoid those certain triggers, the better off you're going to be. After you go through the process of unfollowing these certain people, I want you to start seeking out people who are living that big life version. When I started working to heal my shopping addiction, it was the same time that we had downsized our house and I had practiced minimalism in my life. I knew that while working to heal my shopping addiction, I also wanted to pay off debt for our family because I hated how much my financial struggles were holding me back from showing up as the mom and the woman that I wanted to be. So I started following people on Instagram that were in the hashtag debt debt-free community. These were people who were paying off their mortgage early, living the digital nomad life, saving their money rather than constantly spending it. People who were wearing capsule wardrobes, and more I began to see that that big life vision I had for myself was possible. People who struggle with shopping addiction often have this gap because they don't believe they can go from the person that they currently are to the person that they want to be. So the best way to convince your brain that this is possible is to find proof that it is. So it would probably be a good idea for you to like this video and follow along. Another thing you can do is download my free Shopaholic survival kit that I have linked below. These are some of my favorite tools to help you heal your shopping addiction in a way that doesn't feel horribly depressing. Number 3, get yourself a spending fund. Having a spending fund goes against a lot of the frugal, budgety lifestyle hacks that we see. If you have ever stepped foot on a budgeter or a frugal living social media or YouTube, you've probably seen no spend challenges or spending freezes. If you're someone who struggles with a shopping addiction, that probably gives you mild cardiac arrest.
Yeah, I'm having a heart attack.
The idea of going from chronic overspender to absolutely not spending a dime can really be triggering and immediately make you want to spend. That's sort of what I did, but I'm going to tell you I got to a point where I realized it wasn't working. What did work was giving myself a spending fund. This way you have a fund that is giving you full permission to spend however you want. You are allowed to have those purchases. You are allowed to have those splurges. You are allowed to have the impulses. When you do this, not only do you designate an amount so that you don't have major unexpected financial dips in your budget, you also create this ability and this permission for yourself to make decisions that are healthier. Personally, I created my spending fund by using the Cash app and debit card. I downloaded Cash App and signed up for the Cash App debit card, not only because it's really cute, but also because I wanted to have this designated account where I could spend my money. Of course, you can always just open a checking account too. I was talking with my husband Tom about this once, and he told me that he struggles to spend money with $100 bill. If he has $100 bill, he wants to keep it intact. He hates breaking it up. Me, I don't care. I'll break it up as much as I want to. But what does work for me on the Cash App is being able to look and see how much money I still have left. What Cash App does is show you still have $75.26 left to spend. I like having that visual number there. That is helpful to me. Find a way that works for you to have a spending fund that's going to help you slow your roll and be a little bit more intentional about how you spend your money. Again, all of this is listed below in my Shopaholic survival kit that you can download for free. Number 4, find a way to dopamine swap. What happens when we spend, especially when we impulse buy, is our brain knows that we're going to get that dopamine hit, which is exactly why we think shopping makes us feel good, because we do get a dopamine hit when we buy something new. However, if you're struggling with shopping addiction, you know that that dopamine hit doesn't last. What studies have shown is that if the spike is high, the hit is even lower.
Roller coaster!
It will always be a bigger dip the higher the spike of dopamine when it comes to an addiction. So instead of trying cold turkey, find ways to swap those dopamine hits. Like I said, for me, my shopping addiction went hand in hand with me practicing minimalism and decluttering in my life. Rather than always bringing in and buying new things, I started to love the process of finding things that I didn't want in my life and getting rid of them and creating space. It was similar. It was just instead of bringing in, I was pushing out. If you are a chronic online shopper, this can also look like getting a different app to distract yourself. When you find yourself scrolling and maybe being tempted to buy, start playing Candy Crush. I just downloaded Tetris because my daughter had never heard of Tetris. You're still doing that same sort of swiping motion with your finger, but instead of doing something that's going to be damaging, you're doing something that could actually maybe be beneficial to your brain instead of constantly scrolling. Number 5, I want you to automate debt payoff. While I could say so much about the best ways to pay off debt, drop a comment and let me know if you want me to. To make this simple, I just want you to find a designated amount of extra cash in your budget every month to automate toward your credit card. For example, if your current credit card payment is $300 a month, I want you to add on an additional $50, $100, $200, whatever you feel comfortable doing, and set up automatic debt payoff payments. This way, while you are working to heal your spending, you're also working to get yourself out of debt. This is sort of what I call my double-sided debt payoff method that I talk about in my course, Shopping Rehab. Because when you are coming at your debt from both sides by paying it off on one side and not adding to it on the other side, you help yourself accelerate that debt payoff. Number 6, I think you're gonna like this one. Reward yourself for not splurging. One of the things I've always heard people say when it comes to diet culture, because we all just hear way too much about diet culture, is if you actually make it to the gym, don't reward yourself with a cupcake. Whether or not that's true for shopping addiction, I'm telling you right now that rewarding yourself is absolutely what I want you to do. No, this doesn't mean that I want you to head out and have yourself a shopping spree if you do good. Instead, what I want you to do is switch money from your spending account to your big life savings account. Again, my favorite savings account is in my Shopaholic survival kit that you can download for free. It's also linked below. So if you've designated $400 in your spending account for the month, and at the end of the month, you still have $100 left, take that $100 and transfer it to your big life savings account. Maybe this is a savings account that you use so that you can travel more, that you can finally take that trip to Paris, so you can save up for the house of your dreams, so you can make those big home repairs that you've really been wanting to make. Or maybe you're wanting to transfer it to an investment account because you know you want to retire earlier and you don't want to be stuck working at your dead-end job forever. Whatever it might be, reward yourself for not spending that spending money, and do it in a way that is going to help feed that bigger life vision that you have. If you are looking to kick your shopping addiction in 2025, be sure you like this video, follow along if you love this kind of content, and go download the free Shopaholic Survival Kit because it has even more tools for you to get started.